Hi and welcome to Life and Soul Radio. My name's David Finch and thank you for joining me today for In Conversation, the show where I talk to someone from the world of well-being. Today I'm talking to someone whose website is called Authentic Smile. She's an author, an event organiser, she runs courses, an all-round lovely person, and she wants to help you to regain your smile. Today I'm talking to Sue Allsworth.
Hi David, and thank you for inviting me on here today. So I am a journey coach, mentor, trainer, and author. Really,
Right.
that's me in a nutshell. I've trained in many different modalities over the years, but I've got my own brand, I suppose, and I ended up producing and publishing workbooks, really, that I felt that I was kind of missing in my journey a little bit. So
Right.
I there's a lot of self-help books out there, as you know, David. You know, there's lots of books to read. And I read them all. I had the knowledge. I preached the knowledge. My life didn't change.
Right. Okay.
And what was missing was the action and the practice of all those bits in the books. So I've ended up producing five. I think it's about 5 books. See, I don't even take count of how many books I've done.
You don't even know how many books you've done. That is amazing.
No, there's something about 5, 6, maybe one more
Right.
in it's still being worked on, and 2 decks of cards. I definitely know I've got 2 decks of cards, that's for sure.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been quite a journey, a creative journey, especially coming from the mindset that I believed that I couldn't write.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, tell me more about that because it happened to me, but I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about you. So tell me more about that starting to write because now you've done 6 or 7 books or maybe even more. Have a look at your bookshelf. See, I don't know, but how did that process start for you then?
Well, I was on some training in Ireland, actually, for Heal Your Life, life coaching training, from the philosophy of Louise Hay. And the tutor on that actually pulled me up one evening and said, "Do you realize how many times you say I can't write during the day?" I don't say that, I don't say that. Anyway, the next day, being very mindful of my thoughts and what I was saying, I realized I actually said it quite a lot. So it was like, so I sort of had to sort of delve into that and where that came from. And I know I can still picture the moment that it actually probably happened, which was at secondary school, and had to do I'm glad I've got my GCSEs now, because I'm just about to reveal a big secret. I had to do an assignment, an essay, and it was writing about, I think, the President Kennedy assassination in newspaper report, something like that. And I was really struggling. So my dad, I would like to say he helped me, but he ended up kind of doing it for me,
Right.
and writing a poem and handed it in. And I was getting C's and D's. And then I got a B.
Wow.
And my teacher said, "See, I knew this was the work that you could do, Susan," as that's my real name. All I heard was, "I can't write," because I knew that I hadn't written it, really.
Yes, yeah.
My dad was a little bit peeved that he'd only got a B and not an A.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
I
I
know,
could just
you
imagine
just
him writing
can't
to the
please
school
everyone.
complaining, It's like, why did you only give me a B when I did my daughter's homework for her?
Yeah, I know. So I think that's where it sort of stemmed from, that in my head I heard I can't write. So, and then it was so after the training in 2014 for the Louise Hay, I wanted to delve a little bit deeper, because Louise Hay's philosophy is actually from science of mind, that she studied prior. She's kind of made science of mind commercial to some degree in her unique way, because she was a science of mind minister. So I wanted to go to the core, really, of what she was really talking about. And in 2016, I started studying with the science of mind, and we had to give a project. It wasn't an assessment or anything, but we had to hand in a creative project at the end of each course. So this old I can't write and everything came back and all of that. And I ended up it was a 10-week, the first one was 10-week course. And I think by week 4, I had written a poem that just came flowing out of me that ended up going into my first book, Journal Journey with Creativity, that got published. And so that kind of blew, and I realized that actually I was confusing the writing with academic writing and creative writing. Now, I'm not an academic writer and I don't enjoy that kind of writing, but I had realized that actually I'm quite good at writing meditations. I'm quite good at that more creative, and my heart was opening. And the more you open your heart up and come out of the place from your head and into your heart, then you're actually speaking your truth. And then in theory, you can write anything.
Yeah, that is amazing. And so then you went on, you got the bug then, and then you went on to write maybe 5, maybe 6 books, maybe more, you know? Yeah. And then...
I say I've written books, and I kind of use that with, no one can see me, but with little air quotes by me, because they are workbooks. So there's an awful lot of blank spaces in those books.
Oh, now
so
tell me something about this, right? Because as I just mentioned, I've only wrote one book so far, because I've got catching up with you, all right? However, mine is a workbook as well in some degree, all right? So I run a course called Hypno Reshape, and the book is about Hypno Reshape. And it's a workbook. However, when I wrote the book and I left those blank spaces, although they're not blank, they're like forms, if you like, within the book, I actually sat there and I said to my wife, I said, I've got a problem here. So she went, what's the matter? And I went, well, I wouldn't write in this book because, again, going back to probably childhood days, don't write in books,
Yeah.
And so what I did at the back of the book, I've actually got a link to a website, and you can download all of the forms in the book if you don't want to write in it. Because as much as it's a workbook, people won't want to write in the book. That was my thinking. It was like,
no.
So do you actively encourage people to write in your books?
I do.
Right.
I absolutely do. The magic happens in the book. The magic won't happen unless you put something in the book. Yeah. I have had a couple of students who've been trained to do the Journal Journey Coach and Mentor training course that I run. And that was quite a barrier for them. And I've had one client who actually was trying out one of my new books, the Journal Journey with Your Chakras, and she couldn't write in the book. She was doing it through the lockdown. She didn't want that negative energy to go in the book, so she's put it in a notebook. And I'm going, but that's your journey right now, because the beauty of the workbooks that I've written, you can do them time and time again, and you will always get a different answer, even though you're doing the same book, because you're in a different place.
Yeah.
So the Journal Journey with Creativity book it's a creativity book. It's kind of like a vision board book. Right. So it's, however you want to express yourself and honor your emotions creatively. And I always say, if you're not feeling it, step away from the book. Do not do the book just because. You've got to feel it. You've got to be in the right mode. And a lot of the books are thinking, it's the thought process before you actually put what goes in the book that is actually the important part. Yeah. And although the Journal Journey with Creativity is called With Creativity, another student of mine sort of caught me one day and said, this book's actually about feelings, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, it is actually, because that law of attraction is all about feelings. Words have power, which is a new Mind Body Soul Summit that I'm running later on in this month. But although our words have power, it's our feelings that we attach to those words that actually is what the universe, that's how we communicate as humans with words. But the universe communicates through vibration, and vibration is our emotions. Yeah. And our emotions don't lie. So although we might be saying, I'm worthy, I'm deserving, if your heart is actually saying something else, then that's what the law of attraction, the universe, is going to hook onto. So if you're wondering why things aren't changing, I'm doing the affirmations, I'm using my power truths and all of this. It's all very well, but you really do have to believe your words.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got that, and it is 100%, no doubt, no fear, the universe works on 100%, nothing less. And so the books were a way of honoring, expressing your emotions, really, in very different ways. Each book has its unique journey and takes people through it. It depends what you feel that you need to do, or what you're more drawn to how to express yourself, really. That's another reason why I wanted to do different ones, because I know that we all deal with things differently and look at things. And although the books all come kind of at the same sort of philosophy and theory and have the same message, they just have a different look to them. So it hopefully will, at least one book will appeal to you, to be able to shift what is going on. And they can be done on their own. And there's some meditations that link in with the creativity book that I have on my YouTube free, so that they can be done at in your own time, or it can be done as a personal development course with me. Or if you wanted a new bow to your string, or string to your bow, or whichever way you say it, then you can do the training, which is the Journal Journey Coach and Mentor training. And the whole idea of the training is you have to go through that journey yourself. So the creativity book takes probably the better part of a year, but I've learned you can't just learn something in a week and go away, do a course, and that's it. You have to really process, assimilate, and I love this word, embody all that you're learning into your own life.
I think it's so important that you, as a therapist, and you're talking to other people who may not be therapists, but they want to better their lives in some way. And I think this really important message that you've just given there is that you have to do this for yourself. And I think there's a lot of people that don't take the time, they don't take the effort to do things for themselves. They're always rushing around doing things for other people, making sure their mum's okay, their dad's okay, their kids are okay, whatever. And they're always running around doing all of that. But what they're not doing is looking after themselves. And then the day comes when something happens and they think, oh, right, I better do something now. And
kind of that's kind of what sort of hit me in the face a little bit in my 20s, really.
Right.
And, we're all wanting that quick fix, that tablet, as I say, take a tablet, it will sort itself out. And we think that the self-care and the self-help and the personal development is all going to be like that. Read a book and I'm, my life's going to be changed and solved. But it isn't. It's action. It's the action that you put into changing your lifestyle, your thoughts. And this isn't just something that you do once. It is a permanent state that you have to maintain and find that authentic smile within. And I certainly, my business is called Authentic Smile because I know a fake smile, because I lived with one for many, many, many years. And you can't fake a faker.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize, and some big low moments, those rock bottom moments, for me to sort of go, okay, right, okay, I get it now. Yeah, I'm the one. The reason why nothing's changing is because I'm not changing.
Yeah. And
if I'm not changing, then nothing in my life is also going to not change. It's not going to change. I was the problem. And, we all need some help and guidance through people like myself and counselors and whatever it is that you're drawn to, and your self-hypnotherapy. We all need those support systems to help guide us through. But at the end of the day, there's only one person who can get into your head and change the way it thinks. And that is you. And you have to want to do it.
Yeah. I think sometimes when people are rock bottom, you mentioned, there's times in your life where you've been rock bottom, and I think that's the point where learning really does begin for a lot of people. Now that's again, that's the in reflection. That's when they go, oh right, yeah. When I was that low, that's when I needed to do X, Y, Z to get out of that situation or whatever it was that they were in, and then become the person that they're becoming. And that really carries on throughout life, doesn't it? Let me ask you a question, Sue, about age. So you said earlier on about when you was 20, you noticed it. Now, quite young, I think, for people to have a realization, a moment, if you like, you know. And, you know, don't get me wrong, people, of course, have these moments throughout their lives. But what's the ages, do you know the ages of maybe your readers, the people who come on your courses, the people, are they more older people or are they younger people?
It's a good question. And I've actually got quite a mixture because I think they're probably more 30 plus when people, you know, in our 20s, we're there to try life, in your 20s are the playground, shall we say, of the adult playground. And we don't necessarily want to take things too seriously, responsible, what have you. But that's not to say not everyone, you know, no, not everyone's the same. But I think in our 30s, we kind of do have to start looking at, oh, okay, this isn't working. I can't keep playing around like this. I've got to take maybe things, not life seriously, because I don't believe in that, because life is too short to take it too seriously. All of the work that I do with people on whatever level, there's got to be an element of fun into it, because it is, otherwise it's just doom and gloom. And there's already been probably enough doom and gloom in your life. So it's kind of how we can shift that doom and gloom, still do the serious work, but with a light heart and getting that smile back. Because I'm kind of like that female Peter Pan version. I'm 45 now. But I don't know if I'll ever grow up properly in that sense. I can adult when I have to, sort of thing.
And why would you want to?
I've done care work, and I've done palliative care work, and done some really serious, deep work on different levels. But it's still got to be, everyone needs to still smile. However, I mean, I've been down that rabbit hole, as I call it, and my rock bottom is suicide. So that you can't go an awful lot further down than not wanting to live. And I lived like that for quite a lot of my years in my 20s, and my journey and my story is on my website, so I won't go into all the details. I'm an open book. I've got nothing to hide, and I'm not ashamed or embarrassed by it. You don't have a smile when you're in that dark tunnel with not seeing the light. And having a smile is really important, not just for you, but for everyone else around you, because a smile's contagious. And if it's an authentic smile, it is contagious, and it can just, I mean, no one can see us right now, but you're smiling at me because I'm smiling.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And I really love the fact that your website is called Authentic Smile, because it really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? You said earlier you can see a fake smile, and sometimes you pass someone in the street, someone you kind of half know, if you like. They're not real friends, but you kind of half know them, and you might say, "Hello there, how are you?" And they give you a fake smile, and we know
I'm fine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you say you're fine, but I can see you're not, But then I suppose on the other hand, people don't want to go, oh, well, you don't want to know my troubles. And then you're like, oh, I don't say hello to them again. You get their life story. So there's that balance, isn't there,
It is, but it's also the amount of times we just say that generic, I'm okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And quite often I'll go, well, actually, because I very rarely ask that question unless I actually have the time to know and listen to the answer. And I'll pull people up on it. I will actually say, that's not actually the truth, is it? The question is how are you? Because sometimes we're on such automatic pilot, and that autopilot pushes our emotions down. I know it certainly did with me. It was so much easier to put the fake smile on, to not show. So it wasn't just other people that I was lying to, but the person that I was lying to the most was myself. Because by saying, yeah, I'm fine, I'm saying that to someone else, but I'm trying to buy into that myself when actually I really wasn't fine. I could have done with asking for help a lot sooner than what I did. And even though in my 20s I got help and I got the support that I needed, that could have lasted a lot longer. And it does with a lot of people. And it to some degree, it just breaks my heart when you can see, and you'll know this in your line of work, you can see the potential in someone. You can see their potential, not to be anything massive, famous, or anything like that, but just their potential as a human being, as a soul that is on this earth, who has got some unique gifts to give to their family, to their friends, to the world, in whatever level it is, and that they can't see it. And I know that feeling myself. And it's just all sort of conditioning from the moment we're born. In the Journal Journey to Your Mind book, I'd just done a live, a sort of, I think it's on my YouTube channel actually, a recording, and the first section in the Journal Journey to Your Mind book, that is more of a reading book actually, because it's got an image that people had done for me. I knew illustrators were really expensive, so I decided to put a shout out. And again, I wanted to promote that, with the creativity side, it's not about being Picasso. I'm Blue Peter level. I'm a cut it, stick it, paste it girl, and I'm a sucker for a glittery sticker. So but then I've got other people who are more artistic, and so everyone was collaborating, and it was going to be a deck of cards, but it became a bit bigger than that. So you get an image, and then you get I've written a visualization to talk yourself through, and then some journaling questions, because obviously Journal Journey series is all about the journaling. And the reason I use journaling as a tool is because when we're thinking, we loop. I'm not worthy, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that, and we allow that to just continue on a loop. But when you write, you don't write like that. So when you're writing, it breaks up the pattern of how you are thinking. And by the time you've finished writing something, you will have come to a different conclusion, because you're not going to, unless you're going to sit there like school and write lines, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving. And you're not going to sit there and write it, because that's daft. The brain says, I'm not going to sit there and do that. So that's why I use the journaling. The journaling it's kind of like your best friend. If there's no one else around, there's always a pen and paper. And I'm old school.
That's fascinating. It really is. And I mean, that is a top tip if I've heard one. The fact that your mind can't loop because you're writing stuff down, that is brilliant. I love that. Really.
It breaks up that, I always think of a train track, those kids' train tracks that used to just go round and round and round and round and round. And that's your thoughts. And if you get stuck on, even if it's planted or by someone else or society or family or whenever it happened, if it's in there, it's got its groove. And you're the only one who can, pull the lever and change the train track and change that direction of the groove of that thought groove. And journaling to me has been one of the best ways that I've, meditation is all very well, but when I meditated, all my looping was happening still, sitting there, peace and quiet, and all that looping is still going on. And I can meditate now a lot better because I've already, and another top tip for breaking that looping habit for me is music.
Okay.
See, now when I caught myself, when I started to realize that I needed to be really mindful of what my thoughts were, I had this thing that I would write, okay, I've got that negative thought. I don't actually really believe it. It's a habit more than a belief now. So your thoughts to start with start as your beliefs, but then you can start to sort of realize that they're not actually your real beliefs. They've come from somewhere else. So then they are then a habit. So then you've got to break that habit. And to break that habit, just like a child, you distract. So I've found I changed all my music. Think of how many songs we listen to on the radio. And if you actually listen to the words, and again, words have power, which is why I'm doing a summit on words have power. If you actually listen to the words of a lot of songs, the achy breaky heart ones keep you in that pain. The anger ones keep you in that anger. And that was actually not working for me. So I found loads of different pop songs, new thought songs, all different people that I have found and picked up over the years. And so as soon as I catch myself having a bit of a lull moment, I will put I've got about 400 songs now in my Amazon Prime, unlimited folder that I just press on shuffle, and universe, you give me the right song for today. And it, again, by the time I finish singing that song, I have forgotten what it was that I was thinking about.
Yeah. Well, that really resonates with me, because for years and years and years, since I was 19, and I'm exceptionally older than that now, and all of my life I've been a DJ up until probably 8 years ago, when I started getting into doing therapy and doing NLP and other stuff. However, kind of gone full circle, because now, Life and Soul Radio exists, and you'll know that by listening to the station, in between some of the great podcasts and the lovely interviews and stuff like that we've got on, we have some music. And it was really a case of, when I sat down, what music are we going to play in between? I wanted happy songs, songs that didn't sort of resonate with, like, breaking up, or, being upset in some way or whatever. And it's really, really hard, isn't it, to find those songs, because so many pop songs are actually about a negative state of mind or something that's happened. Boy meets girl, and they kind of, break up, and then there's a song about this breaking up. And that's really a massive amount of, like, especially songs from the 60s, 70s and 80s were about those sort of, breaking up kind songs. Which was amazing. And I've gone through, and hopefully our listeners now will agree that, we've got the mix of happy songs quite right. But it is quite difficult to find happy songs.
Yeah. Well, for me now, they just come, they seem to, I just kind of, I search them out.
Yeah.
And I don't look for necessarily a lot of people that I listen to, people wouldn't have heard of, because they're more in the positive thought world than the normal pop music world. So I specifically, I was meant to run 2 1-week retreats this year, my first actual physical week retreats, and had a lovely place, lovely cottage for 9 people to come together out in a nature reserve. And I put together a really good retreat, a really good program for the week. And the songs were really important, of how I used the words and the songs and not just necessarily with words, instrumental ones as well. And so I was really searching for a lot of different songs, because I didn't want to necessarily use the same ones, because I wanted to introduce people, to new thoughts, new words. And as I say, I've got about a folder of about 400 songs, but it's probably could grow more. But music, to me, it touches the soul. And if people want me to get really emotional, it will be through music that I listen to, a song that I listen to. It's like I Will Survive. That used to be one of my go-to ones.
Right.
Everyone knows I Will Survive, right? So when I was in my 20s, that was my go-to from breakups. I will survive, walk out that door,
That's it.
And I can't listen to it anymore.
Right.
Because will is putting something in the future.
Yeah.
It's not bringing it into the now.
Yeah.
And I am surviving. I have survived.
Yeah.
And there's no will about it.
That's right.
am now, in this moment, a survivor of whatever it is that I've gone through my life. So I am really, really careful. Again, I don't want things in the future. because that's taking it out of the present tense. And the law of attraction likes the present tense. It doesn't like the past. It doesn't like the future. It works with how you are feeling right now. And I will survive is saying, well, I'm not today, but I might tomorrow.
Yeah. Wow. Do you know that? Yeah, it's so powerful, isn't it? When you listen to that and you explain it in that way. So there's, again, another top tip from you that listen to the music and make the music positive and
make the music work for you. Make music become part of your daily lifestyle and therapy. And as I say, if you find yourself in a low moment, find some music, because you all the time you're singing a happy song and feeling happy, you cannot feel bad.
Yeah.
If you can't feel bad and depressed at the same time as feeling happy, it is impossible.
Yeah.
You're either one or the other. And whatever you're feeling is not a permanent state. I think people realize it's like when you say, I am depressed. I am not depression. That is not who that's actually saying a statement about who I am as a person. I am experiencing depression, but I am not depression itself. I am Sue, who is a beautiful, unique soul.
That's right.
And so again, it's using the I ams carefully, so that you use what I am something. And if it's about what you're experiencing and feeling, then I generally say, today I'm experiencing some tiredness. Today I'm experiencing, or I'm feeling, rather than saying I am tired. Because if I say I am tired, those words in itself are holding me into a state of tiredness.
That's right. Yeah. So I know that words are powerful, and I think that's your phrase that you're using for your summit. So tell me more about this online summit that you've got going on. When is it? What's happening? Tell us all about it so people can join in.
Well, this is the second one that I'll be running on the 26th and 27th of September. I actually had the idea before all that's happened this year, lockdown and COVID and everything, because I've worked with a lot of disabilities in my life. And if you're in that state of depression, going and saying to someone, go to a group, is if they're having panic attacks, which I know what they're like, the last thing you want to do is go and be in a great big group of people that you don't know. So all the physical mind, body, soul fairs and everything, they're brilliant, but they have got restrictions. One, you generally only get local people or people who can afford, therefore, to travel and stay overnight, which puts the cost up. And they're not always disabled friendly venues. So by doing lockdowns actually just helped me to, in some ways, fast forward an idea. So the whole idea of the Mind, Body, Soul Summits is that it can reach anyone on the planet from the comfort and safety of your own home. If you're not able to get out for whatever reason, whether it's for a physical disability or, a mental state, then you don't have to. You don't have to be on video. No one is going to see you. You can remain, and I can't pronounce this word, anonymous.
Oh, you pronounced it perfectly.
Anonymous. So I wanted to be able to bring these summits, these talks, these workshops to everyone and be a little bit more inclusive for people. And we're not going, big events are not going to be coming anytime soon either, really, in where we're at. And so, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. Yes, you've got all the famous people, your Louise Hayes, Wayne Dyers, and all of these and everything, but they are also not there. Well, some of them have passed on, and so they're not contactable. And we need people. When you're in that place, you need someone who's personable and that can be contacted, and that you can actually physically or virtually now reach out to help you, and not just be some words in a book, that actually can help guide you through what it is that you're going through. So, and I'm all about empowerment, and it's not just for my clients and my students that I realized I'm here to empower. it's actually other therapists, because we're now having to do things. I was like, to me, I don't like limits. I'm like, right, I'm in a box. Let's push that box wall down. I don't like the limits. So it was like, how can we do something old in a new way? So by bringing the summits online, then everyone can get to them. There's a ticket fee, of course, but you don't have to pay for your traveling. You don't have to pay for accommodation and things like that. So it makes it, and that I always have 30 days afterwards so that you can watch the replays, because there's quite often 2 speakers on at the same time. So you physically couldn't watch it all in one weekend anyway. So the first one was about empowerment, and that one I think is actually still available to the end of September. And then you've got this one, the next one in September on the 26th and 27th is Words Have Power. And although a lot of the speakers are saying very similar things, they're coming at it from a very different, unique angle. And what we were talking about before, David, is you could have 10 hypnotherapists, but people will be drawn to who they're drawn to.
Yeah.
And not just because you all do the same work doesn't mean to say that you're all the right fit for everyone, because we've all got our own different personalities and takes on these things.
Definitely.
So, and I know that I'm Marmite. I don't like Marmite myself, but I know that I am Marmite. People will either love me or I'm not for them, because I've got a strong character. When I coach people, I will not enable. I'm not your negative enabler. And almost like I say, I'm not your drug dealer. I am not going to enable you to continue that negative looping, because otherwise what's the point of coming to me? Because you might, if you want someone to just go, yeah, you do not, you need someone to say, hang on a minute, are you aware? Just like that teacher did for me when they said, pulled me up, and it sort of smarted a bit, and I was like, what do you mean? You get, but when you actually then go away and think about it, I'm so grateful that someone sort of pulled me up and said, you realize how much you say you can't write, you're getting in your own way.
Yeah, look at you now. If that person, just think about it now. Well, just if you just went back in time, done a Back to the Future thing on it, right? Is that you were there, and if that person never said that to you, and you didn't have that conversation, you didn't have that kind of smarty moment, that smarts a little bit, and but it's made me think, would you be in the place where you are now? It's fascinating, isn't it? I mean, we never know, of course.
No, I know. I mean, if I had never done the Science of Mind course and then having to do that creative project, and I can even feel that fear that was in me at that time of, oh my God, what am I meant to do? I can't. And those I can'ts were like rolling and streaming out of me, and yet it's cut. We really have to move from our heads into our hearts, and to move into our hearts, we do have to feel what it is that we've been avoiding. But there are, the grass really is, and I know no one will believe me, especially if they're in a place of depression or anything like that. I get it. You won't believe me because I didn't believe other people, but I have come from somewhere where, the rock bottom for me was either, right, I do leave this planet, or I do something about it. There was no other option or way out. And it's not easy. And this is another thing. I think a lot of people were led to believe that it's easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't. It's easy if you choose to do it, and therefore it makes the journey easier. But it isn't easy. It's not a quick fix.
Yep.
It is a lifetime state of mind that you need, and heart, and honesty with yourself. It's being honest with yourself. As if you can't be honest with anyone else, you've got to be honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, you definitely can't be honest with anyone else. And it's finding that authenticity within. And so the Mind, Body, Soul Summits, and this one is Words Have Power. The Saturday, I'm actually doing a workshop, an actual workshop with a colleague of mine who has trained to be a journey coach and mentor. So we will be taking people on an actual journey that day. but do have pens and paper ready, because there will be some journaling involved.
Okay.
So, and there'll be live sessions that people can then come, and again, not on video, but you can do Q&As with us, so that you can check in, just like if we were in a physical workshop.
Right.
You do an exercise, then we have a check-in session at the end of each bit to just see if there's any questions. So I'm still enabling all of that. And then on the Sunday is more the summit side, and there's about 8 different speakers throughout the day, all giving their take on, and I know that you're going to actually join us in the October summit,
right,
which is acceptance of the now. And the only reason you're not on this one is I kind of had a hypnotherapist, and I try to make sure it's really important for me that I have their variety for people, because no one wants to go into a sweetie jar and just see the same sweets.
Yep.
If you're anything like me, you've got you want a bit of variety, different flavors. So I like to make sure that it's not too samey, and that I really do get different people from looking at things from different angles, so that people who are joining us have, if something doesn't, you might not like everything, but there'll be some things there that hopefully will help give you some inspiration, and inspire you to either contact us to help you, or to do it on your own.
Yeah. So it really is like a mind, body and soul event, if you like, a physical event. If you're going along to like a hotel or village hall, or where, wherever people are running these mind, body and spirit or mind, body and soul events. But it's all online. So I've seen a few of these now. So, and are they more the kind of video content that people have pre-recorded and putting it on, or is it some live content as well, maybe question and answer sessions as well? So what's the actual format? Or is it mixed?
It is a mixture, because at the end of the day, as you and I both know, technology is my friend, but it can fail us sometimes, and I wouldn't want people to pay for a ticket, and it's £25 for the weekend at the end of the day, which is a bargain for what you're getting and the wealth, and there are giveaways and prizes and all sorts of things as well involved. But no, so I have some people have prefer to do pre-recorded, and they have meditations in it, and they have exercises in it. So although it's pre-recorded, I've tried to get people to be as interactive as possible. But again, this is all new for a lot of therapists, because they're used to dealing with people face to face. But I've also said to them, but when you're on that stage talking, no one else is talking. So that's exactly the same as when you're pre-recording. You're just on that stage, sort of having that moment. And then you would do. So then I do, with some people, I do Q&As, little sessions after their session included in. And then there's some live sessions with some card reading maybe, and different things. When I say card reading, they're more getting you cards that would empower you to look within, not outside of yourself for any answers. I'm very much all about you have, if you're listening to this right now, you believe it or not, you actually have all the answers that you need within you. You just probably don't trust them.
And I think sometimes people like us ease the answers out of people. That's what we do. That's our job, isn't it? Empowering people to get those answers from within, get them to realise, I've got the answers,
And to trust. Because if, once, the biggest thing for me, my biggest wow moment was when I really learned to trust that inner voice. I had one of the biggest decisions ever of my female life in this lifetime to make. And I made the decision, I did the work, and when I actually had to have quite a serious operation, I was on that operating table. Do you know, I had no doubt, not one single little bit, because I trusted myself, even though I had other people going, oh, that's not the right, blah, blah, all other voices and opinions. I just listened to my voice and what was right for me. And I wanted to live at the end of the day as well. And I trusted, and I can remember that moment. And that's my pinnacle moment. If anything feels less than that trust, 100% trust, the answer probably is don't do it. it's not the right thing.
That's it.
So I have a 3-word mantra: trust, faith, surrender.
Nice. Okay, so just quickly tell me more, because we've gone on quite a while now.
Yep.
So tell me just quickly about the 3-word mantra. That's really, I like that. Go on, tell me those again.
You have to trust yourself. You have to actually know what it is that you have faith in, whether that is whatever system it is, whether it's yourself, the universe, the religion, whatever it is. You actually have to know what it is. Everyone needs faith at the end of the day. Even an atheist has faith in being an atheist. So it's still a faith system at the end of the day. So everyone needs to know what they have faith in. They need to be able to trust that faith. And then, and only then, when you've got those 2 things, can you surrender to it. Because you can't surrender to something that you don't have trust in.
That's amazing. I love that.
Or have faith in.
Yeah. So it's been fascinating talking to you, and I'm sure our listeners have really enjoyed our session. And it, really, really has. And there's been some great tips in there as well. Just tell us once again, just exactly how people can get the summit, how they can join you in that summit, a website, your own website, details of how people can get. And what we'll do, we'll also put that on the Life and Soul website as well, so people can actually link from here to you, so they can get those tickets and they can join the Mind, Body and Soul Summit.
So you can find me, my website is AuthenticSmile.com, and it has all the details of the journal journey books, how you can buy them, how the training, and it has the Mind, Body, Soul Summit information there. You can also find me on Facebook at Authentic Smile, and you can also find me on Facebook directly for the Mind, Body, Soul Summits online page. And there I introduce the speakers, I do lives and different things, and put out all the information. Mainly there is a website coming for that, but that's still in process. So it's mainly AuthenticSmile.com, and you will find me there. But if not, find me on Facebook, and you can always contact me and ask me any questions. And David, I thank you so much for this opportunity today to talk to you on Life and Soul, and it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. I mean, I'm meeting so many new different people through this. It's just more than I would have done if if life was normal, because I'm quite a recluse. Right. So I'm actually I've been meeting so many beautiful souls along this journey. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity and to chat to you today.
Well, that's absolutely reciprocal. It's been absolutely wonderful to see you, because of course we can see each other on Zoom. It's a great platform again to be able to use during this time. But thank you. This has been absolutely fascinating today. I really thank you for all your information and sharing that. I do hope people will join your Mind, Body and Soul Summit soon. And I think what we'll do just before the October one, if it's okay with you, we'll do a little catch up, and we'll talk about the October meeting and how that's going to work. And of course, then I'll be getting my finger out and work out what I'm going to do for the October summit, So once again, Sue, absolutely wonderful for you to join us today. And thanks very much. And I wish you well with the summit, which is in a few weeks' time. Thanks very much for joining us.